Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon, not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video. We're going to talk about the tech industry and layoffs and why everybody in the tech industry is so angry now. This is really interesting stuff. I missed this. This was a couple of weeks ago. They said that all the luminaries, all the philosophers have disappeared from the tech industry and we're left with a bunch of activists screaming at capitalists. What the hell happened? Basically, the tech industry has kind of folded in on itself, and you've got a lot of, again, a lot of activists, a lot of people who are just out for a quick buck. You don't have people like Steve Jobs anymore. You just don't. And, Elon Musk thinks he is. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. He's talking about bringing Vine back. Did you hear about that? He's going to bring Vine back, but it's going to be like AI Vine. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, whatever. Anyway, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about layoffs, why people are probably getting laid off really from tech. And it's not just because of AI, speaking of which. I think it's because these tech companies are looking for any excuse they can to get rid of activists. This happened back in 2023. If you remember, there was a massive amount of layoffs in Silicon Valley. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're all just, trimming the fat, whatever. After they laid a bunch of people off, they started hiring again. Because what they're doing is they're laying off certain kinds of people, and these would be the activists that they hired over the last, decade or whatever, that spend a lot of time taking long lunches and getting their spa day and getting all the perks and bring your dog to work day and all that crap. And they weren't being productive. They were getting, most of them, six-figure salaries. Some of them seven-figure salaries. There's one lady, I think she worked for Facebook. I remember hearing about this. She worked for Facebook, and she collected a salary from Facebook for like 2 years. It was like a $250,000 a year salary. And they even noticed that she wasn't working at all. She's supposed to be working from home, and she got stuck in like the training, I don't know, I won't call it the danger room, but basically in training. She got stuck in training. She never moved beyond that. She never said anything to them, and she just sat back and collected a check. Now, I don't know if they can go after her for that or if it's just like, well, it's their oversight. But yeah, we had a lot of people get laid off, a lot of waste, and we can't afford to waste money anymore. Not in this economy, but AI, I think, is going to be used as a scapegoat. Just my personal opinion, I think they're going to use it as, well, yeah, we're gonna pivot to AI, guys. That's why we're laying all these people off. No, they're laying you off because you suck. They want to get rid of you. And yeah, they may do your job with AI, but they were going to get rid of you anyway. They just needed a reason to get rid of you, right? To make it not, what are you supposed to do? Like, yeah, we're firing about 9,000 people because they're absolutely insufferable blue hairs and they don't work. And all they do is sit on blue sky all day complaining about the company. Yeah, we're going to fire all those people. So everything's changing. We're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, go out to news.clownfishtv.com for more podcasts. We're going to be doing more podcasts out there. I think that's what our Plus Club is going to be. We've thought about it for a while. I think it's going to be mostly video podcasts that are not on YouTube. We're going to put them, I think, on Substack because I actually trust the platform. I don't trust some of these other platforms, and I don't want to do more with YouTube because I don't trust YouTube. I really don't trust YouTube. There's some weird stuff. There's some weird stuff going on with YouTube. Speaking of tech companies and all that. Anyway, gotta point this out. Craig from Side Scrollers put this up today, talking about how this woman was going to be replaced with AI, and she's talking about her day. And I love this. They post all this stuff on TikTok or whatever, on Instagram, showing that they're not actually working, right? 9:45, you start work at 9:45. You've already been there. Okay. And then an hour in, you're getting snacks already. Then you're having a team discuss. Then, focus work. So how long do you do your focus work? 12 to 1. Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay. So focus work is, I'm assuming, when you lock down and get actual work done. So all this shit, and this woman gets 1 hour of work done before she takes lunch at 1. Okay. I just, 1:30, she gets dessert. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. So you're talking to a guy who worked as a journalist for years, who worked in tech for years. I usually ate my lunch in my office and I usually worked through it. Now, I didn't have to, but more often than not, and this is me bragging, but I was in a management role, so I had to be there. If I wanted to get away from work, the only way I could actually get away from work is to go eat in my car. I would like go get something off the McDonald's like dollar menu, the drive-through, and I'd go sit in my car and I'd eat in my car for about 20 minutes. And then I'd go back to work because I'm like, yeah, okay. So, I mean, technically I'm not supposed to be back until 1 o'clock, but I know I have at least a half an hour of getting ready for this meeting that we have at 1 o'clock. So I need to get back to the office, right? And that's what I thought everybody's day was like. Like I thought if you worked in tech, I thought that's what your day was like. And I know I worked for one marketing firm for a while, and I was a project manager over there, and I blew up because I was like, we are literally taking meetings about meetings. Like, when are we supposed to do the actual work? And the unspoken truth was, you're supposed to do the actual work after the 9 to 5 workday. When like all the sales reps and the office staff, all those people go home, you're supposed to stay and do all the actual work that's been discussed in the 8-hour workday. I'm like, wouldn't it make a lot more sense to just have the guys that actually do the work come in second shift after you've already done your shit and done your busy work, and then we can actually get the shit done? They don't like that answer. I decided to part ways. I was only there for, I don't even think I was there a year. I was like, yeah, I can't work like this. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. But this is very common, I guess, in tech, or was common for a while. I mean, this was, oh my God, post-lunch chilling. Back to work. Okay, so we've worked, let's see. Oh, another break. Okay, so we have 3 hours of work and an 8-hour work. Oh, now snack time. Snack time at 5. 5:30 wrapping up the work. 6:30 logging out. Yeah, forget that. It's not how it actually works. So anyway, that's the long way around. Let's go to Inc. This is why everyone in the tech industry is so angry right now. The tech philosophers have disappeared, and now we're left with activists screaming at capitalists. What the hell happened? The people that can do are doing for themselves. I think they're not working for these corporations. Remember, the Steve Jobs, etc. They started it. They started it, right? And the Woz too. But you know, they started it, and then it became corporate after they started it, and that is something that's missing now. Now everybody wants to go get a job at some corporation, and they think that they're going to be able to work within the system and do something really cool, and that never happens. It never happens. So they say, quick question. Think about your honest answer. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? You wake up each morning excited about the possibilities that are laid out in front of you? Okay, now I'm going to hazard a guess. No, you're not happy. How do I know this? Well, I believe there's a small percentage of you that are manufacturing positive energy to be able to string today's numbers into tomorrow. You folks keep fighting that good fight. Another small percentage of you are so jaded, you're likely not reading this anyway because you're too busy community organizing on Slack. Same, Godspeed. But most of you, the overwhelming majority of people in the tech industry, are just disappointed and frustrated and angry at how things are working out. It's hard to put your finger on exactly why, but I think I figured it out. It's a philosophical problem. This is a really interesting read, by the way, because a lot of times we distill it down to like just being one thing. It's actually a multitude of things. So they're talking about the difference between activists and capitalists, right? They said the thing is, and this is 3 decades of tech and business experience speaking. This is the author. We don't know what we want. So the counter to that is, well, you don't understand. AI on top of today's tech infrastructure can do anything, so you can have anything you want. But since most people still get lost when presented with a Cheesecake Factory menu of unlimited options, they default to more money, like Canadians who went on strike in South Park. The capitalists are more than happy to facilitate this request. The activists get furious when the capitalists fleece the masses to fatten their wallets. What the philosopher realizes is that the problem lies within the paradox. The only reason people default to wanting more money is because they think it will make them happy and more satisfied. That never happens. Money is a byproduct of success. Yeah, okay, so this is the thing. Like the early tech guys, the early Silicon Valley founders, they weren't necessarily looking to get rich. They just wanted to make cool stuff. And getting rich was kind of a byproduct of it. And now it's all about like, hey, let's do this thing, flip this business, get this venture capital, boom, boom, boom. And they're just it sucks. It does suck. It does. But we're never going to have any innovation if that is the sole motivator. Just make more money. But then you have activists who are like, I just want a paycheck. And they're not smart. I'll be honest, most of the activists are not smart enough to be able to come up with the ideas. You look at most of the people who came up with the ideas, they were not, they might have been left-leaning or whatever, but they weren't activists as we think of them today, who just have no grasp of reality and the realities of business and all that stuff. So it was kind of interesting. It got me really thinking about all of this. So this is a more recent article. This is coming from Youre News. It said tech CEOs say AI is driving mass layoffs. Experts say it's only half the story. Basically, a lot of these companies are running out of money. I think what's going on, and again, back to that clip, is that they're using AI as another excuse to get rid of people that don't work. Right? They said new report from career website Indeed says tech job postings in July were down 36%. Well, yeah, when you posted a job listing and you got a bunch of lazy ass activists who apply, yeah, you're not going to advertise. And most of the companies I worked for, we didn't advertise. We didn't advertise a lot. Like you had to know somebody, especially the one company I worked for that was government adjacent. Like you had to know somebody to get in because they had to vouch for you to get in. If you got in, it was job security. But it was one of those things where it wasn't advertised. We didn't advertise on Indeed for programmers or whatever. It's like, no. You know somebody who can do this? Yeah, then you send them our way. We're kind of in this period where the tech job market is weak, but other areas of the job market have also cooled at a similar pace. So it's not just tech. Everybody's cooling down. Yeah, they said Workday CEO Carl Eschenbaugh said in an email announcing mass layoffs earlier this year that companies everywhere are reimagining how work gets done, citing an increasing demand for AI at his company as a reason behind the layoffs. I think it's too easy. The same rhetoric is being used internationally, for example, by India's tech giant Tata Consultancy, which justified the 12,000 cuts to the organization by saying it's getting ready to deploy AI at scale for our clients and ourselves. Same with Microsoft, too. I don't think that's what's actually going on. I do to some degree, but I think that they're using it as a reason to get rid of these worthless activists who don't bring anything to the company. They said the broader tech layoffs have helped improve profit margins, but what it means for the employment prospects is hard to gauge. Will AI replace some of these jobs? Absolutely, but it's also going to create a lot of the jobs. Well, a lot of these people, a lot of these activists are so averse to AI that they're actually going to put themselves out of work, because I hate to break it to you, if you're going to work in tech going forward, actually, let's go back 2 or 3 years. If you're going to work for any tech company going back 2 or 3 years, you're going to have to learn to work with AI. You don't have to like it, but it is the new normal right now, right? And I'm not talking just like shitty lifted AI art. I'm talking like integrating it as an advanced computing tool. And I don't think that people are really describing AI accurately. And that's really all it is like hyper advanced computing. It's just a very big leap in computing, and the computer can do more. And you're gonna have to get used to it. And I think a lot of people, they're going to put themselves out of work. They'll be like, I'm so against AI. I'm going to go join a hippie commune, grow our own food. Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. They said, the plunge in tech hiring started before the new AI age, but the shifting experience requirements is something that happened more recently. Yeah, basically you have to be good at what you do. They said there's not a lot of entry-level jobs. Again, this goes back to what it's coming from a guy who worked in tech for years. I'm telling you, they're not hiring people, entry-level people, because they're like this broad who, can I say broad? This girl, this lady, this person who maybe worked 2 hours out of a 10-hour workday, and she kibitzed around and whatever. She didn't do shit. And it's not a sexism thing. There are men that do the same damn thing. I've worked with them. I'm like, you're the most worthless sack of protoplasm in the building. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? You don't do anything. You've got no good ideas. And unfortunately, one of those people was my superior. I'm like, you're just absolutely freaking worthless. Like you are. I never told him to his face, but yeah, it was like working with Zach Brannigan. Yeah, it was like I'm Kip, and I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, and that I think there's a lot of this going on that we're going to see. A lot of different organizations, whether it's tech or Hollywood, pivoting because they have to. And I think what they have to do is just get rid of this whole wave of workers. Like, I don't know where the hell these people came from if they thought they could just, go to work, collect a check, and not have to actually, do work. And hell, I've hired people like this, and I've unhired them pretty quickly. I'm like, yeah, you just don't have what it takes. Life sucks. It's hard. You're gonna have to work. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. It is a Sunday afternoon. Nobody's probably gonna listen to this anyway, but very interesting stuff. Gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later. For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.